Hello, I'm Edward St. Pé. Welcome to the program. Well, for this edition of Nightique, we interview a Mississippi filmmaker, Robbie Fisher. She was the producer of a documentary film that won the Best Documentary Award in this year's 2014 Mississippi International Film Festival, which was earlier in November, on November 8th, 2014 at Tinseltown Cinemark. So we've got Robbie here with us, and of course she'll be talking about that documentary that she did called A Mississippi Love Story, a very timely subject that she won this award for. And we'll also meet a young filmmaker, Alex Warren, that is working with presently on a new film project here in Mississippi. So we'll meet both Alex Warren, the young director, and we'll talk to Robbie Fisher in just a minute. Thank you for being with us, and we'll be right back with Robbie Fisher after this.
Stop paying expensive repair bills now. When you own a car, SUV, or truck, sooner or later it will break down, and that will cost you thousands of dollars. Just one transmission job could cost over $3,000. A new engine could cost over $4,000. Did you know that the odds of your car breaking down are greater than your being in an accident? You wouldn't drive without auto insurance. If you own a 2002 vehicle or newer with less than 125,000 miles, a vehicle service contract from CarTection.com could save you thousands of dollars. Qualifying is easy. A custom plan is created for you. You select the coverage that's right for your vehicle and budget. Call for a no-obligation risk-free quote now. Your covered repairs will be paid directly to your mechanic for you. Get the coverage you really need. A vehicle service contract from CarTection.com. We'll keep you on the road with a coverage you can count on. Call for a no-obligation risk-free quote now. Call 800-708-9923. That's 800-708-9923.
Well, welcome back to the show, and we've got Robbie Fisher with us. Robbie, thank you for being with us.
All right, thank you, Edward. It's great to be here.
Now, Robbie is a filmmaker here in Jackson, and Robbie, you won the Best Documentary Award at Mississippi International Film Festival this year.
That's right, and I have loved this wonderful award. I'm so proud of the honor and the award itself. Is beautiful.
It's a great looking award, and I'm so happy that that you guys won for Mississippi Love Story.
Right.
And so now that was an unusual. I thought it was a documentary, a very timely documentary. Can you tell us about it?
Sure. Yes. A Mississippi Love Story is a 13-minute short documentary, and I first met Eddie Outlaw, one of the two main subjects in the film, in January of 2013. And about that time, the Supreme Court was announcing cases that it was going to consider later in the year regarding same-sex marriage. And so in talking to Eddie, thinking about the timing on that, it was a perfect timing to follow a couple that were interested in same-sex marriage for themselves, and the legal battle that was going on nationally and of course in our state, Mississippi. So we followed Eddie Outlaw and his partner Justin around on and off for about a year, a little over a year, and documented what happened, and that's the result.
And you covered the whole thing.
We did. We covered from the beginning of the Supreme Court hearing arguments. We even had a film crew that worked with us in Washington, D.C., cover outside of the Supreme Court. And we followed Eddie and Justin around Jackson, around their friends, their hair salon, and we even got them the moment, spontaneously, the moment they heard of the Supreme Court decision and when it came down. So we got that reaction. And then we got their resulting actions of going to California to get married and coming back to Mississippi, and what the legal status is now.
Well, that's a documentary, and you are a filmmaker. So, do you like documentaries particularly, or do you like narrative films? What's your favorite?
Well, it's hard to pick. They're so different. I've made several short documentaries, and I've also entered the world of fictional narrative fiction short films, and love both. They're different, but both are adventures, and so I love pursuing both.
Okay, so producer, you're the producer of this film. Now, what does a producer do?
A producer does a lot of the legal and business work to support a director and a script. I'm a lawyer also, licensed in Mississippi, and have that background. And so, you know, I do a lot of things that concern both the financing of the film, the legal clearances, the releases. And in a low-budget film like many of those that I work on in Mississippi, I do a little bit of everything, but mainly supporting a director and a vision and a good script in making that from start to finish into a film.
So you would rather work as a producer, or do you miss working as a cinematographer or a director?
Well, I don't have any training as a cinematographer or a director, but I have recently gone through an intensive barefoot workshop training where I was behind the camera, operating the camera, and directing a short film called Leadway. And so that was my first real experience behind the camera, and I really enjoyed that and loved that. But it gave me a new appreciation for all the technical work and the artistry that goes on behind the camera. So I think I may stick to producing, but I won't say never on any of the behind the camera stuff either.
I think being an attorney probably really comes in handy as a producer.
Definitely.
Because, I mean, you understand the business side of it and all that. There's a lot of other stuff that goes on besides the creative stuff.
Definitely. I'm gaining experience in entertainment law, but also relying on entertainment lawyers for help with certain things. But there are legal clearances, there are location agreements, there are releases from actors and talent, and so there are a lot of legal aspects that go into making a film of any size.
A documentary like this, when you make it, are you thinking in terms of the end game? Are you trying to figure out right from the outset, will this film be? Is it something that you're putting out there as an artistic accomplishment, or are you trying to also figure out a way to monetize it and make money?
Primarily. On the films I've worked on so far, it's been mainly an artistic pursuit, a passion to tell a story, to finding a good story and bringing that to screen. I really would like to develop more of the distribution, because even if I'm primarily making a film for the art of it or to tell a story, I still want as many people to see it as possible. So distribution is something that I'm working on developing and trying to learn more about.
I think, you know, at some point, filmmakers, artists in general, filmmakers, you start thinking of, well, you know, the next project, I mean, perhaps we could monetize, maybe we can get distribution, maybe you can do this out there, get it in the theaters, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's like step by step to that point, isn't it?
Well, it is, and it also, if you can make some return and even make some money on a film, it can help you make another film. So, you know, right. The films I've worked on are rather low budget, but I've learned that each one I've been working on has a little bit higher budget as we go along. So, yeah, to make some return so that we can make more films is ideal.
Right.
To do that.
Yeah, and the way the technology is today with digital, you know, there are new avenues of distribution too. Whereas before maybe it was just a theatrical release. Today there could be possibly an online mechanism where you could distribute and make money. You know, there's new things evolving.
Absolutely, on both sides. With the technology, it's cheaper to make a film because cameras and technology and equipment has gotten cheaper and better. If you go to film festivals, you probably heard this in all of the film festival circuits and experience you have. Teenagers are making films on their iPhones now, and
right.
really good films. So it's cheaper. It's getting more and more cost allowable to make films these days. And you're right, distribution. I mean, we're looking at all different avenues of online and you know, all the different internet possibilities to distribute films. So it's really exciting.
Well, you're working on other projects even as we speak. So tell us about something you're working on right now.
I have the privilege and the great pleasure of working with a friend of mine, writer-director named Alex Warren, who's originally from the Jackson area of here in Mississippi. And I'm producing a film, have produced a film we've been working on for the last 2 years called Sequence. It's actually 4 short films that shown collectively together are entitled Sequence. And we made the films over the course of 2 years as separate films. Very exciting. Alex wrote and directed the films. We used different casts, a lot of the same crew, but different casts for each of the 4 films, and mainly, for the most part, Mississippi actors and crew. And so it's just been a really great experience working with Alex.
So this is a narrative film.
It is short narrative fictional films that Alex wrote the scripts for and brought to life on the screen.
So when you link all of these films sequentially into place, do you have a feature?
Well, you have an hour-long feature type collection of films. But they are 4 separate films that are related in theme, but not related through character or storyline.
I see. So what is the end game with this film project? What are you thinking?
Well, we will be screening the film in December of 2014 in several different locations, both in Mississippi and in New York and California. And so we then will pursue other means of distribution, probably internet, so that we can share the film with as many audiences as we possibly can.
And it just so happens that the director and the writer of that project, Alex Warren, is with us.
Yes.
And he's going to join us after the commercial break, and so we'll get the chance to talk to him and find out more about the project.
Good. Yep.
And I want to thank you for being with us on this edition of Nightique, and thanks for bringing us that film, the documentary, A Mississippi Love Story, which was the winner of the Best Documentary this year at the festival.
Well, thank you so much, Edward, and thank you for the great experience of the Mississippi International Film Festival. It's a terrific festival, and just delighted to be a part of it and honored by this award.
Yeah, it was a touching film and a very poignant film and also timely film.
Well, thank you.
For these times.
Thank you.
Okay, Robbie, thank you.
All right, thanks so much.
Okay, Robbie Fisher, and we'll be back with Alex Warren after this.
An owner of an international diamond manufacturer will be in the United States on Thanksgiving Day here at Carter Jewelers in downtown Jackson from 8 to 4 p.m. We'll have 1-carat diamonds starting at just $1,000. You can buy from the diamond dealer direct. It's unlikely you'll ever have this opportunity again. Best to call for an appointment and let us know what you're looking for.
So if you're looking for a diamond, be at Carter Jewelers on Thanksgiving Day.
Ingalls Shipbuilding is hiring electricians, structural welders, machinists, ship fitters, pipe fitters, and pipe welders in our Pascagoula, Mississippi site. Signing bonuses available for pipe welders only. Positions are union represented. Come build your career with Ingalls Shipbuilding. Go to www.huntingtoningalls.com/careers or call 888-935-1507. Well, Alex Warren joined us. Alex, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Ed.
You know, it's always great to meet a young artist from Jackson who's doing things in bigger markets and you know, exciting things. So now tell us, what have you been up to over the last months?
The past few months I've been finishing up a series of 4 short films called Sequence. That's sort of the name of the entire 4 films together, and they're 4 individual films. So my team and I have been finishing that. I've been working on some documentary projects here and there, a couple of commercials, so it's been really busy, you know.
Now, you're a second-generation television person. Your father is Don Warren, right?
Yeah, that's right. Don is a great guy. You know, he's sort of somewhat of a local legend type guy, just a really nice, creative filmmaker. And you know, one thing that I really learned from him was the importance of being a good collaborator. I think Dad is really good at working with a number of different types of people, and I've tried to really grow in that with becoming a director and writer.
I think that's really an insightful remark. I mean, because
Well,
it's a collaborative experience.
I mean, it really is. If you want to be a singer and songwriter, there are many examples of artists who can have a song, write it, produce it themselves, put it out themselves, and it was a one-man thing. But that has never happened in cinema. There's never been one movie, even if it's a stop animation thing and the person did everything on their own, someone had something to do with one part of that process or another. And so, yeah, you have to be a good collaborator. You have to work well with people.
Now, the film that you're working on with Robbie Fisher right now,
Yeah.
we just talked to Robbie about it. Can you tell us a little bit about what this sequence of films is all about?
Yeah. This project called Sequence is comprised of 4 short films. The first one is called Yazoo Women. Second one is Dreamscaping. The third one is The Temperature of Father James Martin. The fourth is called It's Never Cold in Vegas. I was inspired by the short stories of Barry Hannah and Raymond Carver. I really like the idea that a short film can exist like a short story. I feel like in my first rounds of doing film festivals with my first few films, I see a lot of short films that sort of have this very structured, stylistic thing that I really wanted to rebel against, where it's like the setup is like a joke. It's like this happens and then this happens and then at the end it's actually not his girlfriend, it's his mother. And I didn't want to do anything like that with like a kabam type ending. I just wanted time and space that felt real, with real characters and real moments. And so yeah, we worked our tails off, man. We worked really hard making these with a micro budget. I found actors that I was really inspired by, people that inspired me that I wanted to work with, that were good at sort of taking the ideas that we talked about and really finding some true space inside of them to create more of a realistic performance rather than something that's canned and rehearsed. And so, yeah, inspired by a lot of different filmmakers to make the films in the way that we did, and now we're getting down to the wire. We show the films in 2 weeks, December the 3rd in Oxford, and then the night after that in Jackson. Then we'll go to LA and New York and show them there.
The filmmaking process, this is a narrative film. Is that what you plan to work on in the future? Or, I mean, do you enjoy documentary work and this type of thing?
I love documentary work for sure, but I think for me, the reason to do what I do was because I was inspired by feature filmmakers. Scorsese, P.T. Anderson, Robert Altman are some American directors that I really love, and they're all guys that write and direct their own stuff. And so that's what I want to do. I want to tell stories, narrative stories that kind of blend things that I've experienced or thought about or felt in the past with sort of something that I'm exploring. I think that cinema is the best exploratory art form, and so I want to use my directing and writing to sort of explore things that I'm interested in.
When you work with an actor, do you give them a lot of space, you know, or are you a director that wants the script followed succinctly, or are you going to give them leeway to move off the script a bit?
Yeah, the script is hardly ever the Bible for me. It's more of a blueprint, so it's something for us to work off of. Very few times do I ever require an actor to do this or that, and if I do, it's only because it's going to be the only way that it will work in post, in the edit. So yeah, I like a really collaborative approach with actors, non-actors and professional actors alike. So I brought in David Aaron Baker, who's been like in Woody Allen films, he's in Boardwalk Empire. So he's a pro, he's a guy that I was a fan of beforehand. I wrote this script for him, and we had so many conversations leading up to the filming that really a little pep talk here and there is all he needs, and he can really run with it. And then we'll make minor adjustments. I'll say, I really liked it when you did this, try that again, maybe try it this line this way, and we can go in there and kind of dissect that way. And then a non-actor, which there's a lot of non-actors in the films, you know, we'll work a little bit more and we'll try different things together, but all in all, it's a total collaborative experience with all of the actors. I want them to participate in the telling of the story, you know?
You know, there's some films that are being made where they hardly have a script. They've got an outline. Are you familiar with that approach?
Yeah, you know, I think that a lot of movies were made like that. I think that some of Terrence Malick's early films were like that. I don't want to work. I love writing. I think that to me is like one of the joys of being a filmmaker, is having your writing become something else. So I don't work like that, but yeah, I'm aware of it.
But some people do that.
Yeah,
It's
some
kind
people
of
do that.
interesting, you know.
Cinema is so like, it's just transient. Like there's so many different pathways you can take to make a great film, you know? There's not one correct way to do it.
Right, it is.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, now you are still living in Jackson, but you've been working in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I've been working in LA and New York quite a bit over the past few years, mainly doing music documentary work. So I helped produce this series for Complex Magazine last year called Magnum Opus about hip-hop stars' first big hits. And so we got to spend time making these short films with Ice Cube and Busta Rhymes and Talib Kweli and a few more. And then this year I directed some episodes for the Red Bull Music Academy's series called Beat Repeat New York City, and it's sort of series about a series about drum machines and the role that they played in popular sort of New York anthems. So like Blondie's Heart of Glass and La Tigra, Decepticon, and Anthrax, and so it was cool.
So those are drum machines in the in some of those songs.
Yeah, there's drum machines in the Blondie and La Tigra song, and then for Anthrax, we used a song of theirs and combined it with, we like introduced the drummer Charlie to this grime and like sort of dub producer who's fresh on the scene named Lee Bannon, and we had Charlie cut drums to one of the Anthrax songs, and then Lee took those drums and then chopped it up and created a song on the spot. And we did that at Electric Lady Studios in New York, where that's Jimi Hendrix's studio that he created.
Yeah.
So it was cool, yeah, it was a cool experience.
Well, you are planning on moving to to Los Angeles, right?
Yeah, I'm planning on moving to LA, but you know, who knows how long that, I want to continue to work in Mississippi. I love Mississippi. I just want to go and find the best resources for me and my team to continue to make films. And the goal is to make a feature film. I certainly don't see short filmmaking as like a trampoline to feature filmmaking. I think that there's lessons that I learned, but the two are so separate. They really are. And I want to start making feature films. And so I'm going to go out there and try and find some more producers for Robbie and myself to work with who may know a little bit more about the industry than we do. And yeah, bring the next feature back to Mississippi and make it here.
So you plan on hopefully bringing the production back here?
Yeah, absolutely. There's two scripts that I'm writing now, and both are heavily tied to Mississippi. I think that they shoot kind of all around, not just in Mississippi, but definitely I want to come back to Jackson and Oxford, and I want to create films here for sure.
Well, is there a particular website, a mechanism for people out there in television land to keep in touch with Alex Warren?
Yeah, I think right now the easiest way to keep in touch with what I'm doing is to check out our trailer online, www.sequencethefilm.com. And then we have a Facebook page, Instagram, stuff like that. But on sequencethefilm.com you can find information for how to buy tickets to the 4 screenings that we're having in December. You can watch the trailer. There's information about the actors, Robbie and myself. There's pictures, stuff like that. So sequencethefilm.com.
Well, good. Well, I want to thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Nightique.
Big fan of yours, Ed.
Oh, thank you,
Hey,
Alex.
best radio station in Jackson. No kidding. It is.
Thank you, WLEZ.
WLEZ 98.1.
Man, thank you.
It's always on my dial, for
But
real.
you know, I mean, you're kind of young to be listening to that station.
Dude, a lot of my friends love that station.
Well,
it's
I mean,
great. For afternoons, like, I love hip hop, I love pop, but for an afternoon drive, if I'm running errands, I don't want to hear anything that's going to be like intense for me.
Right.
I'll wait till the night for that. So I like the light, easy listening of WLEZ.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
It is kind of a labor of love, you know,
Absolutely.
and so. I feel the same way. I love music. I love all kinds of music, everything I like. But I like that too. And
there's been, I don't know, we're running over time. There's been so many situations where I'm driving down the road and there's a song that comes on your station that I've never heard, and so I'll Shazam it and go back and download it, buy it from iTunes. Stuff that I've never heard in my life, you know? Yeah, it's been
well,
great.
you know, a lot of that is it's like our grandparents and our parents' music for sure.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah,
That's how
definitely.
I discovered the music. My mom used to play Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra when I was a little boy.
Yeah.
And so I've always loved it, you know, through the years.
Yeah, I love it, man.
So
it's
good.
Great.
Well, thank you.
Thank you,
Alex,
Ed.
very
really
much.
appreciate it.
Good luck with everything.
Thanks.
And I'm sure we'll be seeing you back here, bringing the Los Angeles crew down to make a major narrative feature here in Mississippi.
I've got a
very
part
long.
for you in it.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
We'll be rooting for you and trying to keep in touch with you.
Absolutely.
Via the, I guess, online.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sequencethefilm.com.
.com, that's right.
Okay, good. Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, Ed.
An owner of an international diamond manufacturer will be in the United States on Thanksgiving Day here at Carter Jewelers in downtown Jackson from 8 to 4 p.m. We'll have 1 carat diamonds starting at just $1,000. You can buy from the diamond dealer direct. It's unlikely you'll ever have this opportunity again. Best to call for an appointment and let us know what you're looking for.
So if you're looking for a diamond, be at Carter Jewelers on Thanksgiving Day.
Ingalls Shipbuilding is hiring electricians, structural welders, machinists, ship fitters, pipe fitters, and pipe welders in our Pascagoula, Mississippi site. Signing bonuses available for pipe welders only. Positions are union represented. Come build your career with Ingalls Shipbuilding. Go to www.huntingtoningalls.com/careers or call 888-935-1507. Well, filmmaking is alive in Mississippi, and we thank our director and producer for being with us tonight, Robbie Fisher and Alex Warren. If you'd like to comment about our program, or if you know a great guest that should be on the program, you can write us via our website. Just submit your inquiry at Nightique.com, and also at the website Nightique.com you can see many of our previously recorded programs archived there. The full show right there at Nightique.com. Well, that's it for this edition. I'm Edward St. Pé. Thank you for being a viewer of Nightique.